What's up, everybody? Hello, and welcome to Critically Aroused. We're back, and today's episode, or this portion of today's episode, we're actually just going to be talking about the news, and we're going to be doing the What's New With You section. We're fully splitting them in half for the podcast portion. It's just logistically much easier, so you'll be getting 2 podcasts a week instead of 1, and then as far as YouTube goes, you'll be getting what you've been getting. So, yeah. And
take that.
Yeah, and you hear that? It's a lady voice. It's not just me and the other 2 assholes that normally join me. So,
hello.
Actually, yeah, joining me today is my lovely wife, Sydney.
Hello.
She's here today. And my other lovely wife, Christopher Kaus.
Hello. That's my other wife. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sister wives.
You're right. Oh, it's getting too weird. All right. So, yeah, but we're going to talk about the news as usual first, and then we'll move into the What's New With You. So there is a little bit of news this week. It's kind of like, it seems like every other week. Have you noticed that, Chris, where like every other week's like a busy week?
True.
It's really been doing that, where it's like there's absolutely nothing one week and then a lot one week.
It's like a simulation or something.
It must be like some sort of simulation. So, as anybody who's been listening for any amount of time knows, we are not all in on the award shows and all that baloney anyways. But if you didn't notice, the Golden Globes happened and no one gave a flying shit. And so that was the main thing I was going to talk about.
I did not know it happened.
Yeah, well, and I don't think many people did. And that's the whole big thing, actually, I was going to talk about is a news story came out. And basically, viewership has dropped. It dropped 64% this year from last year.
Ooh,
nice.
Like, that is a brutal. And last year was when Ricky Gervais roasted the ever-living crap out of all of them.
Oh, it's the anniversary of that.
It is. And so, yeah.
The 1 year.
The 1 year.
1 year anniversary of the time Tom Hanks looked the most uncomfortable in all of history.
For the Ricky roast, where he basically called them all a bunch of creepy pedos.
He sure did.
In front of everyone, so that happened.
Nice.
But yeah, so their ratings plummeted, and I mean 64% is a lot. And basically, so this article here says that only 6.9 million people tuned into the Golden Globes this past Sunday. And so, I mean, if that tells you anything about how it was last year, which was 18.4 million.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
That's a big delta.
I think that's right around like 64% if my math's right.
Somewhere in that ballpark.
Wow,
Give or take.
Really corporately impressed right now.
All right.
Wow.
So the other thing that I wanted to talk about this is, obviously, since the Golden Globes happened, they announced their winners and so on and so forth. And so last week, one of the main reasons that we reviewed Nomadland is because we knew that it was going to be some sort of contender.
Right.
And so Sydney didn't get to see it.
Oh, you didn't watch it with him?
Watch it.
No, I didn't.
I expressed my feelings about it to her, but I was,
He did. I have really bad ADD, so if I'm not told in advance, a couple of days in advance, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So.
You would have loved that movie.
Really?
You think? No, he's
I'm being
lying. I was like,
you would have hated it.
I was like,
oh, that's the one you hated.
I didn't hate it. I just actively disliked it.
He didn't like it.
So
well,
active.
I basically like we said last week, and if you go back and listen to our review, my opinion was basically that the movie itself was not a badly filmed movie or poorly directed movie.
No, director did a great job.
Like, it was just the content and everything surrounding it was doo-doo.
Correct.
Essentially. So,
but go check out that podcast.
Yeah, definitely go check out that.
Review.
Yeah, and actually, I will go ahead and say I'm not used to doing this. We're kind of getting in the routine of it. But since we are on YouTube, definitely do the whole like and subscribe and all that fun stuff down below, because we got to say all that. And if you're listening, and then definitely make sure to subscribe on whatever podcast app you're using. We'd love for you to do that. Definitely helps us out and kind of know who's checking us out. But so I did pull up the actual winners, and Chris saw a little bit just a second ago, but so Nomadland did end up winning Best Motion Picture, which now it was against some movie called The Father, something called Mank, and then Promising Young Woman, which we were wanting to review, and maybe we still will, and then Trial of the Chicago 7, which is a Netflix film.
Yeah.
But honestly, my biggest disappointment is the simple fact that The Sound of Metal was not on this list.
Right?
Which
That's ridiculous.
Was up there with our highest reviewed movie of all of last year, I think.
Probably.
And fits so perfectly into this like award winner category.
For real.
And so the thing is Riz Ahmed, the main actor, was on some lists, and he was actually up for Best Actor, but he did not win. So, which now I do understand Chadwick Boseman won for a small film that he did, and since he passed away this year, it makes sense that he got it. They tend to like to do that if it's someone's last film and that sort of thing, if it's worth it.
Not to take away from his actual acting abilities.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But it's like if they were going to be on that list and something like that had happened, it's a lot more likely to be the case for that person, because it's like Riz Ahmed will be around him. Everything he does is fantastic. Like, his chances are high that he will probably win something else. So anyways, it was just, I saw that Nomadland won Best Picture, and after us reviewing it last week and basically saying that it wasn't going to be up to snuff and what all the critics were making it out to be, then we basically came to that conclusion, and we all agreed that we thought that that Sound of Metal was a far superior film.
Yeah, hands down.
Just across the board.
Across the board.
Yeah, and it didn't end up winning, which is just a real bummer. So anyways, I did want to bring it up. You guys know that we're not huge into this whole awards BS, but, you know, I did want to touch on it. And honestly, I think that the ratings speak for a whole lot. And I think that most of America just doesn't want to go and sit through a bunch of rich assholes telling them how bad they're destroying the planet. So there's that.
That's fair.
Yeah, I completely agree with
I
that
mean,
statement.
it's just like, I don't see why these folks don't get the picture, especially after the roasting that they got last year.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see why they don't get the picture that, like, you guys need to chill out and stop preaching to everybody. Like, you're no different than any of the rest of us, except for you're just mega
can I
rich.
point out that none of us asked to be here? Not a single one
true.
of us.
Right? It's
Well,
true.
that's what you think.
Oh, well, as far as
At
I know.
first, I thought you meant like in this room. I'm like, I did ask you. I asked both of you to be here, so
Well, I just
walking
mean
out.
like this message of like humans are cancer on the earth. Like,
Sure,
well,
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we calm down? None of us really asked to be here.
yeah,
So.
it just kind of happened. So.
Right.
But, and also I did, one of the pieces was talking about how another added thing to it is just that the spectacle is gone with COVID, because they're still doing all these COVID precautions for the Golden Globes, and basically they all like phoned in.
Right.
And so I guess Jason Sudeikis was there, and he showed up in his Skype call in a sweater. So no suit, no
Good for
nothing.
him.
Just for sure. I mean, awesome.
Did he have pants on?
I probably not. I mean, you know.
What you're interested in.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, you know.
Jason Sudeikis' PP. So on from there. So
Real quick,
Yeah.
I did see that Borat won.
it did.
I thought I
Yes,
saw some.
I meant to bring that up. I'm glad you said it.
thought
You
I
didn't see
saw
it wrong.
Speaking of peepees.
Yeah.
Speaking of PB, that's very fair.
Yeah.
I thought I saw some article saying that Sasha had
yeah.
made a comment saying that if he won some award, he
Mm-hmm.
was going to do something ridiculous. I can't remember any of the details, so I'm being terrible at this news
So
portion
maybe
right
they
now.
just did
But
it.
I vaguely remember something about that happening. So
That's
I have no
Blaine.
idea. Yeah.
back to you. That's the weather with Chris.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. Yeah. Sacha Baron Cohen did, Sacha Barracuda, as we called him last time, did win.
I didn't know
Did
that.
win
Love it.
for best motion picture musical / comedy. So he did win that. But and there's plenty of other things if you want to check those out. You feel free to look at it. But the thing was now, and I will say, so Chloe Zhao did win for Nomadland for best director in a motion picture. And
That's
honestly,
okay with me.
like you said, I'm okay with that, because like we said,
I'll allow it.
like
You know what?
the story and just everything surrounding it was more of the issue
True.
with that movie than that.
Right.
Now, granted, I still want to see Promising Young Woman, which is on a bunch of these lists, and so we might end up reviewing that at some point. So we'll see what happens.
All
A good friend of ours actually was wanting to review it with us, Megan Vaughn. So she's really wanting to do it. So maybe we'll watch it and do it just for
Sweet.
Meg. So yeah, but
DJ Meg.
right. But yeah, so on from there, the other thing I wanted to talk about. So a couple weeks ago, Chris was talking about Paramount Plus and how Paramount Plus was doing all this advertising during the Super Bowl, and I had not heard anything about it, and I was trying to figure out what the deal was, and I just wanted to update people because I didn't know anything about it, and as much as I'm into this industry and everything else, I did not have a clue what it was. And so what it is it's CBS All Access. It's just changing its name.
Cool. That seems like a lot of money to dump into something for just changing the name.
There must be more drama behind it.
Well,
Let's dig into that.
I think that I don't know if they like bought them out or what the deal was. I think they're definitely trying to pump up that app. I mean, I think that it will have. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think it will get a. I think it will get a facelift of some sort.
Yeah.
And they're adding a bunch of new like original films and different things that CBS All Access didn't have. But so the whole thing is basically you are already subscribed to CBS All Access and have Star Trek and all those fun things. Then basically you will still have all of that stuff, and then also it will just be Paramount Plus, and there will be a few other things. Like I think the new SpongeBob movie is launching on it, and so the other big thing is it starts tomorrow. So today is, and that's another thing I hadn't gotten used to saying because with this whole new portion of how we're doing the podcast is it's March 3rd today. So. Of 2021, of course. But yeah, so yeah, it's going to be on the 4th. So tomorrow, everything
We would
will
be
different.
much more afraid and timid if it was March 3rd of 2020.
Yeah, no more 2020,
Oh, we'd
please.
be ignorant, living in bliss.
That is.
Would we?
Yeah.
Maybe we would actually.
Because
No.
it was...
We wouldn't be afraid yet.
It was being in. It was in discussions.
You're right. We wouldn't be afraid yet. We'd be
Yeah.
talking about like
It's true.
possibly being
We wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't ever afraid.
I'm not
Never
scared.
scared. Wasn't never scared of that.
To the motherfucker.
So all right. So the last thing I want to talk about really quick was another thing, if you know about us, is that we don't watch movie trailers really, which is honestly kind of ridiculous for me. You can ask Sydney. That used to be like my big thing was a movie
Oh
trailer
my god,
would
it
come
was
out.
awful.
And I'd be like, oh my god, you gotta check out this movie trailer that just dropped.
No, except it would be like 4 in a row.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Then I'd make her watch like 4 or 5 because I'd save them up until like a big day, and then I'd be like, here are all the movie trailers. But as
Here you
we've
go,
Are
girl.
trailers an innuendo being used here?
I think he's joking that it was the opposite of that.
Okay.
It was like he was excited and he was just like, "Here you go, girl. Here's some
Yeah.
trailers." And I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm like not into it.
No, I tried to make it like sexually enticing, but then it was just a movie trailer, and she wasn't excited at all.
No.
So
It's true.
But we don't watch movie trailers anymore, and actually, we've discussed it has changed our
Life.
viewing. It really, as far as watching movies go, it's changing dramatically, right? Like we view movies completely different than
We're
we
so
used
much
to.
happier in our marriage.
I mean, sure, yeah. Me and Chris are,
just
and Matt,
cut-
our
yeah.
little marriage.
That's right.
Yeah. So the other thing I was going to talk about was that Mortal Kombat trailer came out. We were texting about it a little bit, and I heard it dropped, and I ended up somehow seeing like the first 30 seconds of it or so, and I was like, oh no, like why did I see that? Because even that spoiled a little bit. But the big thing about it is that this trailer dropped, and it is the biggest Red Band movie trailer ever.
What's that mean?
What's Red Band?
Red Band is a rated R trailer, so like they can show rated R moments.
Dropping jargon and lingo
Yeah.
up in here.
Okay.
That's because well, you know how like movie trailers have like the big green
right.
band. So if it's red, if you ever see a trailer start with the big red band, it means that it's rated R.
Forgot they used to do that. Do they still
Oh,
do
that was
that?
like
Well,
a-
apparently.
Yeah, they do.
Thought it was like a rapper.
No,
Red Band.
Yeah.
Red Man?
A red bone.
it's the
Or Red Band.
You know? Okay. Not that.
nope, not those things. So I'm going to change the subject now, and so yeah, it's the biggest Red Band trailer of all time. So basically, this thing, the only thing that came close was I think Deadpool. And maybe one other, but the big one was that it beat Deadpool, and so everybody's freaking out about it. And I will say, because the whole thing was everybody knew they were making this Mortal Kombat movie, and it was going to be like a hard R Mortal Kombat movie. And I mean, Chris as well as myself, like I don't know if Sydney played any as a kid, but like played Mortal Kombat a ton as kids. Like
I know my parents
or
didn't
well,
really
played some-
allow me
they
to
didn't.
play it.
When
but
you'd come over to like
Because he was
Yeah.
raised
the
by
cool
kids'
kids' houses and stuff, you would
we were Amish. But no, yeah.
yeah.
I did play it.
Played some, yeah. I played it a lot, but so our generation's super hyped about it, but basically the trailer came out and it is awesome, and I'll say that the like 30 seconds of it I saw was really good. Like I'm very excited about this, and the big thing is that this is another one of the HBO Max movies that's launching from WB, like day and date, like the movie that we're going to be reviewing later today. If you check out our review in the next video or the other podcast. So it'll be there waiting for you. But of Tom and Jerry, because that came out. That was supposed to be a big theater release. I don't know if either of y'all knew that, but yeah.
I didn't even know they were coming out with this movie until you said we were reviewing it.
It was supposed to be a big budget movie theater release, and basically due to COVID and everything else, and with what Warner Brothers has done, this is what's happened with it, is it came out on HBO Max. So I just wanted to bring it up. I thought that was crazy that, a Mortal Kombat movie is what's now the biggest movie trailer ever viewed.
I'm surprised. Well, for rated R.
Yes, for a rated R.
But why are people so opposed to rated R movies?
It's not that they're...
You'd think that there would be other rated R movies that would have gotten more views.
Well, if you think about it, rated R movies are... They don't make the money normally that your PG-13 or outside of your Avengers movies and things. And even still, rated R movies just don't make that level of money.
Right.
That was what the big deal was with Deadpool, is that Deadpool basically just backed up the truck and dumped out the money.
Yeah.
And same with something like The Matrix, or
That wasn't rated R.
It wasn't?
No, it was PG-13.
No
bro.
way.
I'm telling you, because my parents let me watch it when I was
you're right.
children's.
That is true.
Yeah,
So you're probably
it was actually
right.
a surprisingly clean movie, aside from just
I'm
fighting.
checking it. I'm fact
It's all
checking.
right. I have it right here in front of my
I'm
face.
What are you doing?
Nope, too late. It was rated R. Your parents let you watch a rated R movie.
Don't tell them. I lied to them.
You probably lied to them.
Well, for a rated R movie, it was actually surprisingly
It was
clean.
because I watched them all too, and we were all fairly young.
Yeah.
At the time, well, especially because we had
I was 11.
relatively strict parents around that time too. So, but yeah, it's just rated R movies just don't make the type of money that the others do. So even as far as just the money they bring in, or the amount of views that a trailer would get, or whatever the case may be,
right?
It's not the same bracket with money.
Interesting.
So something like a PG-13 Avengers movie is going to make a lot more money,
right?
So, anyways, that's it for the news. That's all we're really going to talk about. And so I'm going to move on into what's new with you. I don't have a ton of stuff, but do y'all want me to? You want to go, or you want me to?
Go ahead.
So I'll
start
really
us off.
just super quick start us off. So one thing I was going to say, a long time ago, probably almost close to maybe a year ago in the podcast, I was talking about a kids show called The Last Kids on Earth. So we're doing a PG movie today, so I figured I'd talk about one kids show that I watched with the kids, which this isn't a PG episode, obviously you've noticed, but our review for Tom and Jerry will be PG. But so The Last Kids on Earth is a Netflix original series. It's based off a book series, and it's really good. Chris, did you ever end up checking that out?
I did not. No, I think I saw it on Netflix briefly, but then it hasn't been recommended or anything to me since then, so I just forgot about it.
Yeah, it's the ultimate nerdy kids show. It's super sci-fi / a little bit of horror. It's got zombies, parallel dimensions, monsters, a lot of video game references. They literally at one point turned into old school side-scrolling Street Fighter characters, and we're punching things. It's just really cool and creative. And it's apparently the books are really good. I'm sure our son Clark will end up reading them at some point or something, or even Dylan. But and so it's just really good. I recommend it. If you've got kids, check out The Last Kids on Earth. It's a fun, easy sit down watch for kids, and it's not full of a bunch of trash. As far as peddling stuff to kids, it's just a fun show. So
does it sneak in and butthole and stuff like that?
I'm sorry, what?
Does it sneak into a literal butthole? Is that what you're asking?
I don't know what you do with your TV shows, but
I was wondering if there's a butthole in the show.
No, there is not a physical. And now there may be someone says the word butthole, but I
you know
can't
what I'm
hear
saying? It'll just
I know what you mean.
cleverly be this is fun, and you're
just say
no.
something really weird or vulgar. Yeah,
just curious.
Yeah,
as a mom.
Yeah, no. As far as I've noticed, no, it doesn't. It's not got a whole bunch of adult humor, if that's what you're getting at.
And no actual
buttholes that I have seen.
Well, that's a plus.
But, I mean, no, butthole free. Last Kids on Earth, butthole free. So the only other thing that I was going to mention was I more than anything wanted to mention to Chris. I talked to Sydney about it last night, but so in a few weeks we're going to be reviewing the Snyder Cut, as Chris knows.
Yep.
And so, which is the Justice League Snyder Cut version of the Justice League. So we've already gotten a previous version of the movie. A lot of people were unhappy with it. It was cut all to pieces. He didn't finish the movie.
Hated it.
Yeah, so on and so forth. Actually, you and I saw it together.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Snyder didn't finish it.
Snyder didn't get to finish making the movie.
Right.
And so, side note to that is that it's 100% been announced. There was a lot of speculation, so on and so forth, but Zack Snyder officially came out and announced that his cut of the movie coming out on HBO Max in like 2 or 3 weeks is going to be 4 full hours long.
Wow, that was a good guess.
4 hours long. So I've heard there's an intermission, but...
Is there dancing peanuts?
I hope there is.
Be.
I hope there is. So, but I went back and watched Justice League last night, actually. So
That's
interesting.
what I said. I was like, why did you do that?
I know, we had talked about doing it.
We had.
I'm so very
actually, no,
hesitant about it.
you don't do it. I actually think it'd be better if you didn't do it.
Perfect.
Yeah, don't do it.
I am totally up for that.
I've done it, and actually, Chris Tallent's going to come and do the review with us as well,
cool.
so we'll have a 4-man review on that thing, and he's our DC expert.
Menage a trois?
Yeah, right. So... basically, I was only going to watch like 30 minutes of it. Like I'd already seen, I was like, I'll watch 30 minutes. Like maybe I'll watch it in segments or whatever, like over the next couple days.
Just watch the trailer.
Yeah.
You'll get the whole movie.
So the funny thing was, I watched the whole thing. Like, and
Hilarious.
it is pretty, it's so funny. It's so funny. So the weird thing is that I actually really liked the first hour of it. Like I legitimately enjoyed it, like the first hour.
Like the getting to know the character or introductions to the character, not really getting to know. But
Sure. But then the last half, and especially the last like 30 minutes, it falls apart. Like it is an absolute train wreck. It's a mess. And it's clear there was just nothing but Joss Whedon's cuts shoved in there that didn't fit with everything that Zack Snyder made, and it was a whole thing. But so I will say though that it was like I was texting our buddy Kyle, and I was just like I was like an hour in, and I was like, it's weird, I don't remember liking the movie this much. And then like it kept going, I was like, okay, I remember why. Like I had problems with it. Like this front half was really good.
That's how bad a bad second half can impact your feeling on a movie.
Yeah. So with splitting movies up like that, it's a weird thing, and I actually want to talk about that later too with something else. But so I just wanted to bring it up that I saw it. So I know that now we'll be able to, at least me, when we do the review, I'll be able to come in with some sort of comparison.
Yeah.
Because I want us to be able to do that. But I think it'd be great if you came in basically fresh, because you probably don't remember anything about the other one. So. They're the first
Vaguely.
one.
No, I tried to block it out.
Yeah. Well, and I mean,
wait, because I get confused with Batman versus Superman.
Yeah. This isn't the Martha one.
Why'd you say that name?
But I'll say this though too.
That's exactly how Batman sounds.
I think I had hemorrhaged it from like just totally gotten rid of it. The fact that Superman is in this movie for like 8 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He came to bed and was really upset about it. That's all he said. He was like, I just watched the entire Justice League movie, and did you know that Superman was in it for only a couple minutes?
Well, yeah.
And I was like, I'm asleep.
Yeah, it was the whole...
Yeah.
Was that the stash debacle?
Yes, this was the stash. Okay. The stash gate. The Cavill stash gate. Well, it's like, you guys managed to give us a Superman that everybody's like, he's not so ridiculously OP that nobody likes him, and he's just kind of lame. Like, he's actually cool, whatever. We all really like Cavill. He's a god among men. Like,
yes,
and then you don't put him in this movie at all, which I do not think is going to be the case for the Snyder Cut.
You think he's got more scenes?
Oh, I think he's going to be in the movie a lot. So, I mean, it's a freaking Justice League movie. Like, what?
Right.
So it's
he's
just
kind of a big deal.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah.
He's basically like...
maybe he's dead, big deal,
He's like the Justice League boss. So, yeah. But anyways, I just wanted to touch on that. And that's basically it. But you guys can do your thing.
That also just reminded me real quick.
Yeah.
Weren't they planning on doing a remake of Suicide Squad as well? What's happening
It's coming out in a couple months.
Oh,
It's not a remake, technically.
Well, I mean, like, it's
called The
thing.
Suicide Squad. No.
Oh.
They're not recutting it. There's been speculation on if they might do that with David Ayer.
Maybe
because
we just talked about it.
We did. David Ayer has basically said that they did the same thing to his movie. They butchered it, cut it all to pieces, and that's why nobody liked Suicide Squad.
Even, dude.
Yes?
Fight Club.
Oh, wait. Fight Club? Edward Norton?
No.
Brad
the guy who was in both of those movies. Suicide Squad.
Oh, Jared Leto.
Yeah. Even he said that like all of his parts got like...
Yeah. Well, and apparently he's...
Oh, true.
Well, so supposedly he's in this new Justice League a substantial amount. And he was not in the Justice League movie at all.
Was he not?
Nope. No. So I'm really curious as to what this Justice League movie is.
It is. I am very interested as well. Yeah. I'm still keeping my hopes very low. Expectations at...
After watching it last night, I'm actually like kind of excited. Like,
well, you've always had a high
it's
hopes
true.
for this movie.
I have. Well, I actually really like DC. Like, I know you're not a big DC person. I really like DC. I'm a Marvel nut, but like,
well, like one of my favorite comics is the Unjust. What is it? Wait,
no, it's
Injustice.
Injustice from the video games and all that. Yeah, I remember you loved those.
Comic, yeah, but yeah, that comic was fantastic.
Yeah.
But mainly because I really like Constantine, and he's in it a good bit. But
Sure.
I don't have anything against DC. It's just they're not good at making their movies, and most of the time. Obviously, there's exceptions like Superman
and your Shazam and
and Wonder Woman, the first one.
Yeah, the first one definitely. So,
anyways,
Sid, you've been quiet. Do you want to do your stuff?
Sure.
Cool. Go ahead.
Well, so I've been trying to figure out what I've been watching because I don't know. I like only half pay attention sometimes. So
Sure.
So it's usually a couple things at once, and a lot of times it's rewatching something. So I'm rewatching Outlander right now for like the 4th or 5th time. And that's worth mentioning because Sam Heughan.
Yeah.
That's it.
He's a stud muffin.
And we're watching Men in Kilts, which I'm watching with you and paying attention to because it's only 30 minutes and I can actually watch.
Actually, you would like it, Chris.
I saw that on whatever platform it was.
Yeah, it's on Stars. You would really like it because it's just like a trip through Scotland and like learning interesting, cool stuff and a lot of great scenery.
And
that's basically what
Graham
it is.
McTavish and Sam Heughan.
Yeah.
What else can you want? So, I've been rewatching Outlander, watching Men in Kilts. I did try Bridgerton because several of my friends told me to watch it, and
friends, it sucks.
Well, I'm just gonna talk about it because why not?
I've only walked in and out on it, and I thought it was stupid, but
so it just went away. I had it looked up. Anywhoozle.
Yep, this dead air. It's, they love it.
They do. So it's okay. It has some folks in it that have really hard to pronounce names, like Regé Jean Page, who is a lead. He's the male lead, and Phoebe Genevois. I don't know. That's probably not right. But they're, I guess, pretty fresh faces. It's a decent show, but I'm super distracted by the
weird dresses.
The dresses. Because they're like grown, I would say grown in the sense of they're at least 18-year-old women in the show, but the dresses are cut high like a 6-year-old.
They all are wearing like little girl dresses.
So like it comes up, it's like above their knee?
No, like at your chest.
No, like it's what's called like a sweetheart. I think it's not a sweetheart cut. I'm getting it wrong, but it's just very like
it like
childish.
Smashes.
Like they got the deep V's.
No,
that's the sweetheart. You're right about that, but I'm wrong.
It's the polar opposite. It like smashes your chest and it sits really high.
Good job though.
Thank you.
Yeah. So anyway, it's very distracting for me, but I tried to look it up, and I guess maybe to some extent like virgins during this time period maybe did dress like this. But because it's so childish looking, it's just very distracting, and it was
horrible. I don't even care about stuff like that, and it was the first thing I noticed. Like, why do they look so weird? Why are those dresses so?
These dresses aren't period specific. Yeah. I am not watching it.
Well, so I thought that, and then I realized I was wrong. But here's another thing, and I'm like, this is sort of like the weather with Chris because I don't remember the guy's name, but there's some really important designer who designed all the corsets for the show. And it was such a big deal, but then they covered them all up with these horrible dresses. So then I found that out, and it made it even worse. Yeah. So anyway, Bridgerton's decent, and I'm watching that. That's one of the only new things. I'm going to keep pushing through it because I'm just super vain for being caught up on the dresses. And then what was the other one I was going to talk about? Oh, I've been watching Black Sails.
Yes.
On Stars.
Which I've tried to get so many people to watch, and for some reason people are just weird and like won't watch it, but it is the jam. Watch Black Sails.
The first 5 minutes will make you watch Black Sails. Like, all you have to do is just be like, I'll commit to the first 5 minutes of the first episode, and then you'll be hooked. It's so good.
Have you seen any of it, Chris?
No. I mean...
You probably heard me talk about it.
I've heard a lot of people talk about it, too.
Really
I've heard
good.
Dude, it's
multiple
so good.
people say
it's so good. As far as like a pirate... fantastical history, but like historical still, I guess. Like you're not super deep into it, like, but the whole big thing is, and kind of the hook, which they never even mention or say anything about, obviously, but like it's the prequel to Treasure Island, and it's the characters from Treasure Island before they were in Treasure Island.
Interesting.
Yeah,
like Long John Silver.
Yeah. And who else?
And there's some badass female leads in the show.
There really is.
Dead Tom.
Dead Tom.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dead Tom's in it. The big one, John Silver's the big one. You're talking about the Muppets?
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
My favorite.
I knew you were talking about.
Dead Tom's dead. Long John shot him. Anyways, sorry.
He should be in the show, but he's not, as far as I know. I'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
It's
and
good,
Billy
though.
Bones. Billy
Yeah.
Bones is in it.
That's all I'm watching.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you like Black Sails, right?
I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah,
But I do have to pay attention to it, which is hard for me.
And Black Sails, the nice thing about it is it's a Starz original show, but it's on like Hulu or Netflix, or it's like multiple places now.
Good for you,
other
knowing
than
all that
Starz.
stuff.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that's really cute that's in it that you were like, that's the homie? The captain.
Oh God! You put me on the spot. I'm not going to be able to think of his name. It's
Not important.
He is a fantastic actor, and he was in a Netflix original recently. It was what
Wait,
it came
was
off
he the guy
of.
from Game of Thrones?
No.
Oh.
He came
It's
off.
a fair question.
He came off of Black Sails and ended up on
Black Sails.
No, he ended up on a Netflix original, Lost in Space. The one that they did this past.
Yeah.
He was the lead in Lost. Toby Stevens.
Okay.
He's a fantastic actor, but there's actually more other big name actors that show up later, and there's some people that have carried on from the show, and it's just it's good. If you haven't seen Black Sails, I mean, there's 4 seasons, but
It holds
I love
up,
it.
and
Yeah.
so does Breaking Bad, which we also started again. And dear God, if you've never seen that, you're wasting your life. And also Outlander, because I've watched it 4 times, and I still love it so much.
Not seen Breaking Bad.
That is so wild.
Not
dude.
a single episode.
That's crazy.
Oh
to
my
me.
God.
I do know about Pizza on the Roof. Bitch. And
Dude, okay, if I could even begin to
Oh, no
describe
way.
how many pizza on the roof moments there are in Breaking
Yeah.
Bad, like we'd be here all night.
Okay.
It's that
Pizza on
good.
the Roof is like honestly not even the biggest.
It's
Like
nothing.
It kind of sounds like a Doors song, Pizza on the Roof.
Riders on
Yeah.
the storm.
I'm on board for that song. Kind of want to make it now. So that's it for you, Sid?
Yep.
Cool. All right,
That's
Chris,
it.
what do you have?
The only thing that I've watched, it kind of swung in the opposite direction from the last time I was on because I had like 7 different things to talk about. But the only thing I've watched due to a recommendation from a friend was the Snowpiercer show.
Yeah, and it's on HBO Max now.
show?
Yes, it's on HBO Max.
So I was very hesitant to watch the show before this recommendation just because I love the movie so much. Like, the movie is
Yeah.
fantastic. And you are missing those characters in the show because you don't have Tilda and you don't have Chris Evans? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Evans.
Yeah.
There's
job.
too many Chris's. And then there's Ed Harris. All those people that are in.
Yeah.
They're not in the TV show, obviously, but still a great cast. It's actually a really good show, and I finished it all in like 3 days.
Holy crap.
Nice.
Which they only have season 1 up, correct?
Yeah,
But so you definitely recommend it?
definitely. Yeah,
And-
if you like the show, okay, so if you like the movie and you go in expecting the movie, it has similarities to it enough to make you like know what's going on, but it's not exact.
Okay.
So I don't know where they're pulling from this. I know it's a graphic novel originally, I believe, is where all this was pulled from.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But I can't. It's weird because at the beginning of the show, it says it's based on the movie. So I don't know how they're doing it with story wise. I'm not that big of a nerd about it, but I do. It's really good. I would recommend watching it.
Nice.
What is that on?
It's
HBO.
on yeah.
Oh, HBO.
But it came on,
Nice.
I think, like TNT or somewhere really weird originally.
TNT is so weird.
I thought it started off on Amazon, honestly.
No.
I thought I remember seeing it on Amazon, but I could be wrong.
It wasn't. They might have been able to make it so you could like get it with a package thing or whatever.
That's probably why.
But I think it's like TBS or TNT. It's one of those cable networks that you don't hear much out of.
Yeah.
And HBO Max has been getting several of those shows. There's another one that's on there that I've been wanting to check out, and it stars, I think, like Luke Evans. And it's a period piece. It's like a dark crime kind of deal, Jack the Ripper-y kind of show. I can't think of what it's called either, but it's on there now. So, like, I guess HBO Max, whatever other networks they own outside of like Cartoon Network and stuff, they've just been getting their shows when they get the seasons.
Right.
So, that's awesome though.
Yeah,
so
that's literally it. So.
it's Snowpiercer, and
Yep.
which you watched all that, like
Yeah. just in the past few days.
Yeah,
It's
awesome.
good. It was only like 10 episodes, and they were 45 minutes long. So
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, yeah, which makes sense.
That's
'cause
like
they
a
were on
normal-
regular TV.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess if anybody wanted to know, if you've been keeping up with The Expanse escapades, I have finished The Expanse.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I finished. I love it with all of my heart and soul. I'm so super excited for the next season, and it's going to be great. But also, I can say that they did one of the characters super dirty. And I can't say more than that because it's like spoiler territory, but like I have never seen such a dirty, like killing a character off moment as they did on this show. Like, just like, what? Like it was, and so it turns out our buddy Kyle and I were talking about it, and apparently there was some off-screen scandal, and it's looking like they just axed him because he
typical.
had a scandal.
Oh, it's a him.
Yeah, him.
Spoilers.
I know. Oh shit.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh.
We'll cut
Wow,
that out.
that's a
Y'all know
rarity.
I'm like super anti-spoiler. I'm so sorry, people.
Wow.
so
There's only
excited.
like
You
one
spoiled
dude in
something.
that whole
There's
show.
the one guy that's in the
Jeez.
whole show. They killed him. Everybody's just going to be waiting around now for just like that guy to die, whoever this guy
Exactly.
is.
Hey, I have a question.
What?
If you love The Expanse so much, why don't you just marry it?
I mean, if I could, maybe
Got him.
I would like
Got
a.
him.
I might buy like a T-shirt. I would like an Expanse T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
I'm writing
equate-
this down.
Is
For
that
like,
equivalent to marriage?
Yeah.
Buying a T-shirt?
I mean,
Well,
listen,
they're both
Shit.
legally binding. So
yeah,
trust me, I'm a doctor.
it's true. So on that note, guys, I think that's it for today. As far as the news and what we've been watching, you guys know what to stream now. We've told you a few good things to check out. You know, we got some Last Kids on Earth, some Justice League, some Snowpiercer, some Outlander, Black Sails, a little bit of everything. So
Yeah.
definitely check out some of this stuff. And basically everything we talk about is pretty easy to stream most of the time. So it's pretty easy to access. But yeah, so outside of that, we're going to be reviewing Tom and Jerry next. So it won't be part of this episode, but it will be the very next episode, probably drop the same day or following day. So take a look out for that, and we'll be letting you know what we think about that really soon.